Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today, we are updating the quarterback tier list. So, the last one, it wasn't entirely outdated, but we've gone on a crazy run with the Super Bowl, and now we're kind of starting honors, and there's a lot of new quarterbacks I want to add to the tier list. Simple as that. So you might already have some new names on here. We have both free options of Lamar Jackson and CJ Stroud, which in reality, if you're picking one of those free cards from the honors, I probably wouldn't pick a quarterback because you can't sell them and they're not that great to begin with. If you are just getting started and you want to pick one of the free honors cards, I would probably go with like Myles Garrett, probably one of those guys maybe. Yeah, let's get started with today's video. Before we do though, if you are part of the 54% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down to the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the first quarterback. Okay, the first quarterback we're talking about today is Kurt Warner. And Kurt Warner has something that no other quarterback in the game has right now, but I made a video on it when he came out. It could get pretty broken because he does get Omaha. Omaha, if you don't know what it is, it allows you to see what defense your opponent is in pretty much. And if you know what you're doing against certain coverages, you can basically pick someone apart. And it does start on, so if your opponent is just sitting in cover 3, you'll know for the whole game what they're in and what they're doing with their cornerbacks and things like that. And a little tip is if you run Kurt Warner, the first couple snaps, wait for your opponent to use all of his adjustments up so you can kind of see what his defense does look like when it's fully set up. So that's kind of the main thing with Kurt Warner that makes him unique. Also, Gen 2, not a bad release, same as Ferdy, same as Jalen Hurts, same as a couple other quarterbacks in the game too. Gen 2 is just solid. It's not like a traditional 4 Slinger 1 release in my opinion where it goes crazy, but Gen 2 is very consistent. Only problem with Kurt is that he's not too fast, he's not mobile, and can't really roll out that well. He is able to get Hot Route Master and FEB, but it's obviously much better if you don't use Hot Route Master on him, because if you don't use Hot Route Master, because FEB lead is double discounted on Kurt Warner. So the ideal setup on Kurt is probably like set feet, gift wrapped, and then I would go with the Omaha ability. But just kind of a solid QB. If you like playing from the pocket more, Kurt's going to be your guy. But I'm still putting Kurt at the bottom of A tier because he does lack that depth. Omaha, it isn't that practical right now. You don't really need it. But I made the video talking about Omaha because if a good quarterback gets it and it stays on for a little bit longer, it could be absolutely broken. It really could be. So Kurt Warner, solid option, just quite consistent. That's really it. Next up, we got the MCS Derrick Henry. 95 speed with obviously gonna have good ball carrier stats and good carrying, but not a lot of people really have this card or use this card. I haven't used this card. He does get traditional 4, which is the best release in the game. However, his abilities just are not great. And the reality of it is, if you're a quarterback in this game that doesn't get an option for like a lighted up X Factor or at least probably 2 good discounted ability slots, then you're not going to be an S tier. It's simple as that, really. So only set feet lead for 4. If it was double discount, you probably would be a little bit higher. Say it was 3 AP, you can run set feet, and you can't run set feet hot route, so that'd be like set feet and I guess gift wrapped. And I'm pretty sure if the guy who picked this card for his MCS card did win, he would have got Hot Route Master as an X Factor, but he doesn't. So Derrick Henry, not a great card. Could end up being a pretty good golden ticket with traditional 4. But with that being said, we're going to put Derrick Henry, I think he's a bottom A tier level card because the running stats do still mean something and his release is still pretty good, but does just lack those special X Factors and some more variety in his discounted ability. And next up, we got the second 95 overall Kyler Murray. And this one is much better than the previous one. Not only does he have maxed out acceleration, which is obviously very good for rolling out and being a runner and things like that, he probably is actually a better runner than the brand new Lamar Jackson because he does have better carrying. And also he does get better abilities than the honors Lamar Jackson, which is actually pretty crazy. The only thing that's not better than Lamar Jackson is his release. He does get Slinger 4, which is not a bad release. I would actually put it over probably Mahomes' release, honestly. I probably would put Slinger 4 over Slinger 2. But this card he's okay. 300k. Again, you can run set feet and hot route. It's going to cost you 7 AP if you want to run that setup. If you don't need hot route master, then you can just go set feet and gift wrap. No special X factors though, with a solid release and good running stats. So Kyler Murray, I'm gonna put him in front of Josh Allen. That's where I'll put Kyler Murray. But a pretty solid card. Again, it sucks he's the second one, but you know, the hot route master difference, some slightly better stats, definitely does put Kyler pretty much almost like a whole tier ahead of the LTD Kyler Murray that we got even earlier in the year. So next up, we have the MVP limited time 97 overall Lamar Jackson. As you guys saw, the 96 Lamar is at low A tier. I thought this card was going to be like Madden 20 Lamar, where he came out and he's the best card in the game. He had potential to be that, but bad discount ability. Simple as that. Bad discount abilities. It makes the card, not going to say like worthless. Like I would probably maybe say he's worth like 800K, not 2.8. Like don't spend 2.8 on this card. If you have this Lamar Jackson card, there are better options in like as far as Lamars go in this game right now than this one, which is crazy to say, and I'll talk about that in a second. But these discount abilities are just not good. There's gonna be people like this who say nothing wrong with this card. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this card. He doesn't get set feet or hot route discount. If he had in one of these buckets, if he had set feet for 3, then you can kind of talk to me. But the fact he's got no real passing ability discounts hurts the card a lot, and it's not like running with your quarterback is that crazy this year. I mean, yeah, there are some schemes where speed options are great, but unless you're running the ball like 10 times with Lamar Jackson, a little bit more than that, it's really not worth it. And it's not like he even gets any special X factors. He gets no truz, nothing like that. And I would honestly argue that this card is better than the new Lamar Jackson. Like, I think he really is. He's able to get at least Gunslinger and set feet, right, for 6, and then you also get the special X factor, which could be run and gun, which I think is what you should run for free, or truz, or stop. You know what I mean? You have other options. So I would honestly say that this Lamar Jackson card is better than the new 2.8 million Lamar. So with that being said, I think Lamar and Kyler are pretty interchangeable, honestly. I think if you want like a super mobile guy, Kyler makes more sense because Kyler is cheaper. But these cards are pretty equal in my eyes because of the abilities. And of course, in MUT, since Madden 20, it always has been abilities over stats. You could have a card with pretty much, as long as you're at 90, like you could really use a quarterback, like 90 accuracy stats across the board. It kind of takes out a lot of the fluke and accuracy and things like that. Once you have that 90 everywhere and you have good abilities, you know, that's great. I'm taking a card with 90 stats everywhere with a solid release and better abilities than one with 99 stats everywhere and bad abilities. You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, in this year's game, with the amount of KOs again this year, you are going to want to have that, you know, those set feet leads, those faster releases, and even hot route master is super valuable to have, especially when we have a bunch of super good, you know, hot route master set feet discounts with X factors and things like that. But I'm surprised that these honors cards don't get better X factors, to be honest. I really, really am. So Lamar Jackson, it's crazy to say, but he is a mid to low A tier level player. And I'm recording this the day he came out, which is straight up insane. And next up, we got Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is actually a pretty good card that honestly doesn't get enough. He didn't get enough recognition when he first came out. 400K, so he's a very good price. 90 speed, so he can move, he can roll out a little bit. Even, you know, if you need to shake a little bit, you can with the card, right? If you really need to. But, you know, these are pretty good stats, right? Pretty good stats. And he does get not only X factors, but he also does get 2 discounted ability slots. So you can run Hot Route Master and set feet for just 5. And then you could also go with a gift wrap, which has you at 6. And then you also do get the free, the free 0 AP stuff. You can go Fearless or Gunslinger, whatever you want to do. Fearless obviously makes you immune to pressure. And then Gunslinger speeds up that release a lot. And Omniscient, it allows you to see who's blitzing as well as who your opponent's using on 3rd and 4th down, which is pretty good. So I don't think it's worth spending 1 AP for. I would probably go with one of these two. So Brock Purdy has it all. 2 discounted ability slots. Gen 2 release is pretty solid. Good stats, and also does get just good flexibility depending on what you want to do, at quarterback. So Brock Purdy over the CJ Stroud card. Keep in mind, I am recording this before the Rookie of the Year Stroud comes out, but honestly, I do think if they make him like Lamar, I mean, they could make him good, right? They could, but this Stroud even does get good, good X factors and pretty good discounts. So I would imagine that even the honor Stroud would probably end up being somewhere with this Stroud. And that's if they give him, discounted set feet or even discounted hot route master. But if they don't, then he might end up somewhere in this range. Probably like with Lamar, if they do him dirty like they did Lamar Jackson, which is honestly insane. It really is. So either way, Brock Purdy, top of S tier for now. Let's get on to the next card. The next card is the 96 overall Patrick Mahomes, the LTD version, who is still really good. He's going for 500K right now, which is honestly not a bad buy. I think it's a good buy. If I were to buy a quarterback right now, between Ferdy or Mahomes, I would go Mahomes. I think Mahomes, can roll out all that good stuff. But does also get really good accuracy stats, even good ball carry vision, even a high COD, which is good for if you're on conservative or running with your quarterback. But he again does get this, double 0 AP stuff, double discount ability, so able to run set feed and a hot route for 5. And then you're also able to go with the gift wrap for 6, and then you have the X factors there too. I would probably go with, like, it does get tough here. But I would probably go. This is where it gets a little difficult. Maybe you go backyard QB instead, and then you go gunslinger. So you go gunslinger set feet, gunslinger set feet for 4. Then you will go gift wrap, that puts you at 5, and then you go backyard QB, which still puts you at 5 and gives you playmaker and gives you hot route master. That combo is really, really good. That's a really good combo for 5 AP. So Mahomes, for this price, 5 AP, being able to pretty much get, hot route master, playmaker, gunslinger, set feet, and gift wrap. Like, those are 5 good abilities right there that are really necessary on a quarterback right now, and basically turn you to like a juggernaut on offense, being able to hot route out your guys, being able to playmaker if you need to, if a play breaks down, being able to roll out. And you also give him gunslinger too, covers up his release. His release is not a good release, and you really need the abilities to outweigh the release if you're going to be an S tier, and I think Mahomes does that because gunslinger covers up the bad release. It does. It really does. Gunslinger is very good this year, and I think it does cover up Mahomes' release pretty nice. Obviously, though, if you put Gunslinger on a quarterback with an already good release, it makes it even better. It doesn't bring the bad releases up to par with the good releases. But Mahomes, I think, is S tier over Brock Purdy. Again, just a very, very solid card. Next up, we have the AKA Air McNair, Steve McNair, 93 speed, 83 acceleration. So it does have some slight problems as far as escaping the pocket when it comes to rolling out. But it's not super noticeable. You feel a little bit, but it's not super noticeable. Does have the traditional full release, which is the best release in the game right now. If we head down here, he does get, of course, X factors and discounts and things like that. But obviously, it's not as good as, like these 2 discounted ability slot guys like Ferdy and Mahomes. So you're able to run. I would probably on him, I would go. His setup would probably be backyard QB for 0. Keep in mind it is an AKA, so it'll turn on and then turn off, which isn't great, but you still get hot route and you still get playmaker. You can go gift wrap there. You're at 1 AP right now, and then he doesn't need gunslinger, so I would say, I would go set feet on him. Set feet for 4, or you can even go set feet here and then go gunslinger for 1. I wish this was 0, but it's 1. But either way, he's a solid card. I would actually probably put him behind Mahomes. I probably would, because of only 1 discount ability slot. I would probably put him behind Mahomes, and in most practical setups, you're probably not going to use gunslinger on the card, and if you do that, it brings Mahomes up to his level as far as release goes, just based on how the abilities kind of shake up on Steve McNair. Next up, we got Doug Williams. This is easily the best buy in the game right now. This is like, if you just get on MUT and you're not a MUT millionaire, get Doug Williams. He's going for 390 right now and could really be your quarterback for a very, very long time, especially if you do lay him up. 93 speed, 88 acceleration, throw powers there, over 90, like I said, in all of his stats. Even can move a little bit with good enough COD, even high carry in case you do mess up. The card really shouldn't fumble, but you can run read options with him. You can do things like that with him with 93 speed. And he, of course, gets X factors and dual discounts. So you're able to run hot route, set feet, which is just going to cost you 5. And then you would go, if you want to go gift wrap, that would be 6. And you also get the special X factor, which I would probably go with. It does get tough. Maybe you would go gunslinger. You could go gunslinger. I think when I was using him, I was using gunslinger, but even hot route master for free isn't bad, and then that would open up to be playmaker. But probably the best setup is set feet, hot route, gift wrap, and gunslinger. If you're able to do that for 300k, I mean, that is 390, 400k, pretty much. That's very, very good. That's a very good setup. I think Doug Williams is the best buy in the game right now. Best bang for your buck card. A top 2 QB at a very deep position right now with a lot of good options. Be able to get him for that price is just insane. Use the light it up token on him and just let him cook. Simple as that. Doug is a demon, and again, the best value buy in the game right now. But is he the best quarterback in the game right now? And to answer that question, I'm going to say no. I think this Patrick Mahomes card, the 99 overall version, is the best QB in the game right now. However, again, going back on value, you're paying $2 million for one card compared to paying $400K for two cards that are pretty comparable to each other. So if you're a MUT millionaire, this is the best quarterback, in my opinion, in the game right now. I really feel that way. If you bought that pack around New Year's or Christmas, then just use Mahomes because he's great. And I'll explain my reasoning as to why he's better than Doug Williams. And it just comes down to AP. And people don't value AP enough, I think, in this game. Like, you're trading 2 AP, and I'll explain it. So the stats obviously are crazy on Mahomes. 95 COD, better carrying than Lamar Jackson. Very good accuracy stats, good speed, good acceleration, and again, can be lit up, so you actually can get him +1 speed and +1 acceleration. So 93 speed with 89 acceleration. But we head down here to the abilities. The ideal setup to me on Mahomes is this. 0 AP gun. No, I would go set feet here for 3, so it's a double discount on set feet. Set feet 3, gunslinger 0. We're still at 3 AP right now. 3 AP. Then you can even go gift wrap. That puts you at 4, right? Puts you at 4. And then you're also able to run right here backyard QB for 0, which is again hot route master and playmaker. So you get 5 top tier abilities for 4 AP, and that still gives you 4 AP on the rest of the offense, which then opens up, you know, those the cover athlete LTD ability X factors, which is big on offense if you're running the ball. Even can open up some better route stuff for you. You know, as far as short in, mid in, deep elites, things like that for your running, like even for your running back, you can do things like that with him. So it opens up a lot of AP on your offense. So being able to get 5 top tier abilities for 4 AP, I think really does put Mahomes at number 1. And again, with Gunslinger, it covers up his bad release. So I do think Mahomes is the best QB in the game. I thought he would be a little bit better, but then thinking about it, it makes sense because, you know, getting a 2 AP discount from the previous best QB in the game, there's value in that. So Mahomes to me is number 1. I'm sure you guys can debate me in the comment section, but I don't know if I'll be able to change my mind. I don't think I'll be able to. I really don't. I love Doug though, best value, you know, QB in the game, but that 4 AP ability setup in an 8 AP offensive AP meta is just insane. So those are my thoughts right there. My top 5 QBs in the game right now. Number 1, we got Patrick Mahomes 99. Number 2, we got Doug Williams. Number 3, we got, again, limited time Patrick Mahomes. And number 4, we got Steve McNair, aka. And at number 5, we got Brock Purdy. So I think, you know, if you want to use Brock, you can. He's great. If you want to use Doug, he's great too. I think Doug is better than Steve though because of 2 discount abilities, and Mahomes 2 discount ability slots with the X factors too. So you're pretty much trading 1 AP for this Mahomes and this Mahomes. So even if you want to use Mahomes, it's a 1 AP trade-off for almost a 1.5 million coin difference. So do what you want with your coins, but I just hopefully I laid that all out. Hopefully that all made sense, and also I hope I didn't miss anybody. I think on the last one I did miss a quarterback. I think I may have missed Angry Runs Will Levis. I'm going to add him on real quick. Okay, so I added in Angry Runs Will Levis, Slinger 1 release. He's solid, you know, things like that. So, this is the final quarterback tier list. Again, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. And of course, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.